evening. One of the joys of this Sumo has been people joining from all around the world. And Adrian and I think on this session, our leg end session on a Thursday, have had people in California, in Pennsylvania, across Europe actually, as well as throughout the UK. So it's wonderful. If you're, I think Mark is on as well. I think Mark's in Rome. I saw one of the early joiners. Good to see you as well. What a great community.
Very much a regular.
Very much a regular. Turn up the volume there. Very good. So just to check in with Adrian, because we haven't prepared this, because we like to do these things live. If I take the timings off me for the start of each piece, then we'll just go off my clock, and then we can do the 10, 1, 3, 6. I'll walk through the work for everybody in a moment. And Adrian, if you could just give me a warning when we're about 3 or 4 minutes from start time at 1:30.
Yeah, I will. Now we've got somebody from Canada today.
Hello. Good to see you. So, just going to talk through a couple of the technical points that Adrian and I will try and focus on here. I think what I'm going to try and do tonight, Adrian, is we'll do a couple of technical points, but we'll also break each piece down mentally into 3 pieces. So the first third will be establishing the foundation. The middle third of the piece will be all about pushing efficiently, really going to be quite hard mentally in the middle of the piece. So treating each piece as the 3 pieces of the race mentally. And then, so in terms of the technique, if you want to row along with us, a couple of things we've been working on through these sessions, because they're really good fundamentals, however long you've been rowing, and Adrian and I have been rowing a long time. However long you've been rowing, these are always good to do. So the first, I'm going to sit and look at the finish here. The first is about just sitting, chest out, shoulders down from the ears, shoulders back, and we're just sitting, nice strong finish. And then we're separating, which is this movement of separating the arms from the body and the body rocking before we slide. The reason for that is we then are lovely set up for a nice loose and relaxed catch. So that first technical point is going to be about sitting and separating, sitting and separating, and then a little bit of swing before the knees start to break. So good way to practice that. I'm just going to do some quarter slide. Just holding my knees down, getting used to that feeling. Loose shoulders. So that's the sort of back end we're looking for. Sit, separate, lay the knee break a little bit, and then we're in a nice position for our catch at the front. So Adrian will talk us through that and remind us of that a few times as we go through the pieces. And the second technical thing, I think, is the front end. And it's really just the end of that thing, which is when we're sitting at the front end, you want to feel like there's a piece of string, like pulling your head up. So your head's up, your chest's coming up over the knees, and not your bolt upright, but you're just making sure you're sitting up and poised, but the shoulders here are down. So we're going to talk about low, keeping the work low in the body. So really above the armpit, you shouldn't feel tension. We should be driving low in the body. And a good exercise for that is just to do this legs, just the legs at the catch, just to remind us that's how we're picking up. Loosen with the legs. So low at the front end, sit and separate at the back end. Those are our 2 technical focuses. Adrian, do you want to add any thoughts to those 2?
No, I think we'll just keep it nice and simple, and I can just find various different ways of talking through the same points, and hopefully 1 or 2 of those phrases will resonate with different people, so that everyone will get the basic idea.
So good to see everybody tonight. Welcome if you're just joining us. We're going to kick the work off at 1:30. That's in about 7 or 8 minutes. And I'll talk you through the work just before we go, and we'll set our clocks together. Now we're recording this session, and so if you're watching us and you're not live, welcome to. I've done a couple of the Zoom Ergs recorded sessions. I call them on demand. And you know what? I found it so much easier to do that because I felt like I was still part of the community. So if you're joining us and it's not a Thursday in July, welcome to you as well. Imagine there's about 80 of us rowing along with you all the way. One of the things we love to do on these calls is kind of visualize. And when we had a session with 80 of us the other day, we were visualizing being in 10 eights, all rowing along side by side. And in the middle of each piece, when it starts to get a bit tougher, just thinking about moving in sync and a drone shot of all 10 eights from above, rowing through your favorite lake. That's something that can keep us happy. When I think of that, it drops the splits. By the way, the first piece today is going to be at 24, and that's the lowest rate we're doing. So as you're warming up, you might want to make sure you've done a couple of bursts at sort of 24, 26 strokes a minute, just to get the spinning up there. I'm just going to get some air flowing in here and adjust my clothing to be ready for the warmth of the piece. So I'm going to start doing that before you do your bursts, and then we'll be on. If you've got any questions or requests for Adrian or for me as we go, then just pop them in the chat or shout them out now, and we'll try to incorporate what you'd like. The nice thing about this workout as well is we get 3 minutes off between each piece, so there's a chance for a bit of a chat and a regroup mentally between each piece as well. Good to see the builder's tans looking good on camera. Hope you've got yours too. Essential to the art of rowing. So I'm going to do just a couple of bursts and then we'll think about setting up the work. We'll run through it in a minute.
We want to be starting in 5 minutes, Matt.
Okay, great. So why don't I just talk through the work, because we're probably all here now. So I've got the famous laser display board, Adrian. So here we go. How's that for preparation, guys? So what we're going to do is 10, 1, 3, 6 minutes with 3 minutes between each piece. So we do 10 at 24, 3 minutes rest. And we do 1 minute at 30. We just let the horses run there. So 10 minutes is great because it's a really good foundation. Get the stroke and the technique set up well, get the mental approach right. Then 3 minutes off, nice long break. 1 minute, let the horses canter, let it go really well, get the rate up there. 3 minutes rest. So we've actually got like 6 minutes off with only 1 minute of work. We do 3 minutes at 28 and then 3 minutes rest. And the last 3 minutes, last 6 minutes is at 26. So I think what we should do is think about setting up our clocks if you're ready. So if you're on a concept, which I'm not, then you want variable intervals, time, 10 minutes, 3 rest, 1 minute, 3 rest, 3 minutes, 3 rest, 6 minutes, That's it. And don't worry, because Adrian will talk you through it. If you don't want to set your machine up, you can just do it on an open clock. That's absolutely fine. And let Adrian take the strings. That's what he's there for. Okay, so I'm going to think about setting up the clock in a couple of minutes. Probably just give it a couple of minutes. Anybody got any questions on that? Are you all okay? Oh, it's quite warm. How are we doing for time, Adrian?
Exactly 3 minutes to go.
Okay, so it's time to set the clocks. If you haven't already, if you have set the clocks, just make sure that it doesn't die because it's not being rode on, so that you can just jog the handle a bit, I think, and it'll keep it going. I better set mine, otherwise I'm going to be a total loser. There we go. Okay, so technical points. Sit and separate at the finish, swinging off the back before the knees break. Loose and low at the front, loose shoulders, driving low, power down here. And we'll also think in each piece, divided into 3 sections. The first, the foundation. The middle is where we're pushing ourselves and it being really simple and efficient. And then the last section of the piece takes care of itself. We just keep the intensity going, and Adrian will give us all of that. So I think we're pretty much there. I can't see anybody, but I'm hoping we're all ready. Any thumbs up? Can you see Adrian?
Yeah, there's a couple of people still setting the monitors.
Okay, let's give you some. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can get a different view here so I can see you. That's much better. Okay, fine. Oh, now I can see everybody. Hello. Oh, what a, you know, this is the best looking squad we've ever had for this session. I'm so inspired to see all of you. So Adrian's put the work in the chat, so I can see most people looking ready. And we've got an international squad ranging from Italy. At the time of recording, folks, we don't know how Italy England's going to go. From Canada, from Germany, from across the UK and Europe. We ready for an epic session, 10-8, side by side. Okay, looking good. Thumbs up? Yeah, thumbs up, okay. Let's get ready. Okay, Adrian, 3, 2, 1, go. Pushing away, 24 for 10 minutes.
Nice and steady, nice and relaxed. Just getting into your rhythm now. Should feel like you've got plenty of time on each recovery. So this first 3.5 minutes, we're really going to focus on setting up the rhythm, setting up the technique, creating a good, solid foundation for the rest of the piece. So during the whole of the next minute, the next 24 strokes, we're going to think about just sitting still at the back end and letting the arms extend away from the body. Ready?
Yeah, good call.
On this one, go. Sit still and extend the arms.
Yeah, just exaggerating a bit. Get that flow.
Now, as your arms begin to straighten, think about following them with the shoulders and the back, and you're basically pivoting from your hips. So it's a fluid movement. You're not rowing by numbers. You're not waiting till the arms are absolutely straight. But just before they straighten, you follow them with the body, arms and body. Arms and body.
Yeah, lovely rhythm, guys. Just setting the foundation. First third.
Now, it does help with that if you think about keeping your legs engaged. So you're keeping a little bit of pressure on the foot plate until you decide to release the legs and the seat. So just be patient and wait until the body is forward of the seat. Shoulders are forward of the hips. And try and get the feeling of letting your body tell you when to release the knees and the seat.
Yeah, I like to feel that I'm pointing the toes at the finish, and I can feel my feet on the stretcher until my body's over.
That's exactly
Push.
what we mean by keeping
Swing.
the legs engaged.
Swing.
That feeling of keeping that pressure on the feet until you start moving the seat. And at that point, you want to take all the pressure off the footboard, as you would do in the boat. And you're simply allowing the boat to bring the footboard to you. Just paddling along at 24, and we're already 1/3 of the way into this. This next third, the middle third of this piece, we're going to focus on maintaining the splits that you've got right now.
Yeah.
Keeping relaxed and keeping consistent. It's the consistency we're working on now for the next 3 minutes.
I like to think about being really simple. Everything simple, nothing unnecessary. Also, it's about now. Your body's starting to realize it's doing a piece. It gets a bit tough. And this is when I tell myself, I tell my body, you work for me. I'm not listening to that. I'm putting you to work. Simple.
Now we're going to be getting to the halfway point in 20 seconds. And for the next minute, we're going to think about making that front end really simple. Think about looking up over the monitor and bringing the knees up to the chest instead of the chest down onto the knees.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Great call.
You're looking up over the monitor, you're in a strong position, and all you're doing at the front end is just pushing the feet under the handle.
So simple.
The first eighth of the drive, maybe even the first quarter, is 100% on the legs. Above the armpits, all you're doing is connecting the handle to the legs.
And again, mentally tough. Keep on it mentally. Legs.
So we're still thinking about keeping the splits where you want them to be. This is where you've got to be mentally tough, like Matt's saying. Commitment on every stroke, because as soon as you start letting it slip away, it gets harder to get it back. So try and stay on it every stroke.
Just try and keep that split by being technically really switched on. Separate, swing, and push it low in the legs.
And we're now already into the last third. So this is where we got to think about keeping good technique. Now that you're beginning to get tired, we want good technique. And we're just pushing on in your own rhythm. Everyone else around you, supporting you, doing the same as you.
Let's just picture those 10 eighths from above. We're sitting in the middle, pushing along.
Coming towards the last 2 minutes, which is going to be 48 strokes. I'm just going to help you by breaking it down into 5 10s. Next 10 strokes, think about getting the arms away before you swing. Keep the legs engaged, keep the knees down while you extend the arms. Good. Now the next 10, we're thinking about keeping the legs down and swinging onto the front of the seat with the arms already stretching out towards the toes.
Holding the knees down a bit longer.
Now your next 10, you're just floating into the shoes. Make sure you're getting full compression of the legs. And you keep looking up over that monitor. Nice strong posture now. Front end. We're well inside the last minute already. Strong posture at the front end. Coming towards your last 10 strokes. Now we're going to keep the shoulders relaxed at the front end and just focus on pushing the legs and the feet under the handle. Take it home like that.
Yeah. Come on.
Sitting tall at the back end.
Yeah.
Paddle light.
Great.
Good start, everyone. Well done.
Ooh.
Let's keep the legs moving for a few strokes.
Just, yeah, try and go through the motions for 45 seconds to a minute. 3 minutes rest, you'll thank yourself. Really strong first piece, well done. Lovely foundation set. Also, that's half the work. So that's a minute gone. I'm just going to take some water and stretch a little. Well done, team. I could feel the rhythm in our 8 there from all of you, particularly when Adrian's calling that sequencing off the back end. In a boat, if you're not a rower, that's the dream of it. The oar comes out of the water, the boat's moving at its fastest, and there's just a moment of still where you feel the run and you get in time with the boat, and the boat just comes towards you. That's why I row. That and the chance to win. Yeah, Nigel, don't go too early. You're going to pace ourselves through the session. So I'm now starting to think about the next piece. Always just focus on the piece in front of you. Next piece is just a minute. We've got 3 minutes off, just this minute, but another 3 minutes rest. So high quality. And the same mental approach. I'm going to break it into 3 10s. Adrian will take us through it. We're going to think about exactly the same stuff, but we're just flowing at 30. So we're just getting it spinning along. So I'm going to try and think about spinning it, keeping it quite sort of breathy, not lugging it, but spinning it. So just under, what is it, 45 seconds-ish to go now?
Yep.
Any thoughts for us, Adrian, to focus us?
No, I just say with this one, drive off with commitment, get it moving, and then think about being athletic and dynamic.
That's the word. That's the word for this piece, dynamic. I think we're going to keep it nice and springy. So 25 seconds. Well done, everybody. Let's really set ourselves the target of really quality mental focus through the rest of the session today. Really on it mentally, paying attention to Adrian, responding to his calls. 10 seconds. So 30, break 30 for 1 minute, 5, 3, 2, 1, push off.
Think about building speed with the machine. Quick hands. And now full length. Compression. Good. Now swing off the back end. Next 10. Keeping the hands moving, but push them right away. Get the body over. Nice. Okay, last 10. Now the legs. Legs and backs. Spin that wheel. Good. Down.
Now, really do keep moving for a minute now. Do you want to get rid of the lactate? Keep the legs moving. You'll thank me for it later. Ooh. Oh, great. I really enjoyed that. So for me, that's when you sort of let the whole thing fly. And it's really good because now we're going to be rating below that. Well, we've had the dynamism. That's what Adrian said, athletic and dynamic. We've had that dynamic feeling, and that means we can try and put that into our rhythm for the next piece. So here we are in the pieces. We've done 10 and 1. We've got 3 at 28 and then 6 at 26. So I'm now starting to focus on 3 at 28. We're going to break it into those 3 sections. Strong foundation. Middle piece is about simplicity, efficiency, being honest with ourselves about the work. And the last minute, just follow it through, push it home. Well done, folks. Really good work. I can see it's pretty sweaty across most of the countries represented here. It's nice though, when it's warm, I don't know about you, my old bones feel a bit looser. We feel a bit younger, at least at the start of the piece. 1 minute to go. Actually, a call that really made a difference to me, Adrian, was the calling us to sit up, sit tall, get the chest over the knees, particularly as you get tired. I need to be reminded of that for my posture as I fatigue. So we might want to think a little bit about that. If you wouldn't mind, you can at least nudge me. I'm sure everybody else is probably perfect.
I think that's a good one to save for the final third of the piece.
Yes.
When you're getting tired, that's when it's really important to keep your good position and keep your good technique.
Right. So that's what we'll do. The third quarter, the third, the last third is about that quality of posture and technique. So 20 seconds to go. This is 3 minutes at 28. Just trying to go off on rate. First minute, foundation, basics, and then second minute, simplicity, being tough on ourselves. Here we go. So it's 5 seconds, 4, 3, go.
Now, this is the most important piece of the evening. This is the one that matters. Let's really focus on this one. Getting into your rhythm now. 3 minutes at 28. Just think about being dynamic, staying on top of it. Creating a really good solid foundation in this first minute. Focus on the leg drive. Beginning with the legs and opening the back away from the thighs on the second half of the drive for the next half minute. Legs and backs. Legs and backs. Good. Okay, now look at your split. That's 1 minute gone. We want to keep that split where it is for the next minute. So it's all about staying on it, being tough, committed. Each of these next 28 strokes. Legs and backs. Legs and backs. Nice. Try to feel for some relaxation on the recovery. On the drive, everything is pushed on. On the recovery, everything's turned off.
Yeah. Simple.
Great rhythm, Mark, as always. Try and keep those arms straight, Mel. Okay, we're into the last minute. 28 more strokes. So now we think about sitting up, both ends of the stroke.
Yeah, sit up.
At the finish, stick the chest out and squeeze the shoulders behind it. At the front end, float over the legs. Up and over.
Here we go.
Up. Strong posture this last half minute. Good. Now keep pushing on. 15 seconds. On the legs, every stroke. Well done. And again, keep the legs moving. We'll have a build-up of lactate. Just try and help squeeze it out of the muscles.
Well done, Adrian. You made that feel like it went quite fast. It was good.
Thank you.
Oh, he's right. You know, that is the most important piece. Quality there. Also, I always think the last piece, we've laid the foundations for it. We're just going to really rely on our brains thinking correctly under pressure. What Clive Woodward used to say. Don't let your mind wander. Just stay on it mentally. The technique and the focus will get us through.
At the risk of contradicting Matt, I'm going to say that was the most important piece, but now the next one is.
This is what he always does. And he's right, of course. The only piece that counts is the piece you're on.
So this next one, the last one, I'm going to help you through it with a little bit of visualization. It's a 6-minute piece, which just happens to tie in nicely with doing a 2,000-meter race. But we're going to be doing it at 26 instead of at 36.
So this is the one where if we can get the same dynamism as we had at 28:30, but we just got a bit more time, we can breathe. And that's what I like to feel in the Broke. Actually, Adrian and I were in a crew just at the weekend. I'm usually at stroke, and it's quite a privilege to sit with Adrian because you can converse. And we were just talking about let the boat breathe. Finish it off. You've got a bit more time to breathe and recover. We've got to keep the acceleration and the dynamism through that we had at 28. And we'll just ping along at 26. It'll be a lovely rhythm for all of us. So just under a minute to go. How are we doing? I can see sweat pouring off people everywhere, beautiful blue skies, happy faces. Yeah, come on. 45 seconds. Last piece, 6 minutes, rating 26, down the track.
Now we've got 33 of us sharing this Zoom Erg session, which means that with me out of the way, we've got exactly 4 8s. So put yourself in one of the middle 2 of those 8s. And we're going to do a 6-minute piece side by side at 26.
Fantastic. Now, we dropped some of the people who were around earlier in the season. We've just got the elite 4 8s left. We've seat raced the rest of them out of it. 10 seconds. Focus now. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, we're going to go straight off at 26. You should be there about now.
Hold the knees.
So relax, but do keep it dynamic. Don't let it get heavy and stodgy. Just feel that little bit of spring off the feet. And think about handle speed at the back end, not body speed, handle speed. So you sit still, but the handle keeps moving. Good. Now, next 10 strokes to take us into the 2nd minute, just make sure that you are swinging enough off the back end. How much reach are you generating before you release the knees and the seat?
Good, laying the foundation now. 2nd minute. Set the pattern.
First half of the recovery, all about getting ready for the next connection and the next drive. And you want to be ready before you get there. Right, that's the first 500 meters gone already. We're now into the 2nd quarter. We want to be making sure the split doesn't drop. So you've got to be tough on yourself now. Ignore that little voice that's saying this is beginning to hurt. If you don't ignore it, you can challenge it and say, yeah, you just wait. This is going to hurt more. I'm going to make you hurt more.
Yeah, you work for
me.
me.
For a PB today.
You work for me, buddy.
Push myself more.
In those 8s now, visualize. Back up your crew.
Okay, so we're all in 8 number 2. We've got 1 8 on stroke side, 2 8s on bow side. The one on stroke side has already dropped back, half a length behind us. In lane number 3, they are almost half a length in front, but we're not worried. We're confident. We're going to eat that back, and we're going to take it back with interest in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, let's just on the finish, Adrian.
Lane number 4 is right next to us. So we're coming up to halfway, and the next minute we're going to push those finishes.
Yeah.
Go. Just feel that squeeze against the feet. On 26, squeezing against the legs. So if you can see your power curve, we want to extend the peak as long as you can by using your back against your legs. Keep that focus for the next half minute. Driving against the legs.
Dynamic now.
Moving away from lane 4 with 2 seats up on them. And at the same time, we're moving closer to lane 3. They are 3 seats ahead of us. And we've got just 2 minutes left. So now we're going to start pushing on at 26. But we're going to keep good posture. Sitting up. Sitting tall. Rowing long and hard. I'm going to challenge you to push on more for the rest of this penultimate minute. Go now. Yeah. Go on. Legs and backs. We're moving on lane 2. Lane 4 is dropping back. I can't even see lane 1. Lane 2 is struggling. Sorry, we're lane 2. Lane 3 is struggling. They can't hold you.
Here we go, on the legs, last minute.
1 minute, 26 strokes. Lane 3 is 1 seat ahead. Last 20. Next 10, focus on the legs. Give me even more leg drive. Go. Keep sitting tall. Good posture. We're coming up level with lane 3. Last 15 seconds. We've got our bow ball in front. I want you to push away. Go. You've cracked them. Down. The verdict was we won by half a canvas.
Thank God for that.
It's always worth it when you win. Well done,
Wow,
everybody.
well done. Really good session. Just push it out on the legs, guys. Try and just move up and down. No work, just move up and down. Just for a minute. Well done. Great job. I really love, I said that's my favorite session for this kind of erg work because there's so much variety. It gives you the chance to really put the foundations down. Foundations of the stroke in the first 10 minutes and then foundations of the dynamic drive. Ooh. Ooh. Really well done, people. Thank you very much. Adrian, tremendous. I love the visualization. You really feel that sort of swinging along together in the 8s, makes me row longer, makes me think about how I hold the finish to back up the crew. Love it. Oh, as ever.
Really, it's just an amazing feeling when you're in a crew boat and you get that feeling of super additivity, that the whole thing is greater than the sum of the parts. When everyone's swimming along together and everyone's working together, you really do get that feeling that the boat is just flying. You're kind of getting easy speed.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say sort of
slowing it down.
Letting it breathe is where you just push it and then you just let the boat take you. And then you're just being really simple, so we're not slowing it, nothing unnecessary. Really lovely work. Well done to everybody. Any comments or questions for us, you can put in the chat or come off mute. Nigel says, wish I had thought about the first 10 minutes in advance. Yeah, actually, you know what? Sometimes with these sessions, you come away from work or whatever you've been doing and just get on them. It takes a little bit to get your brain in place, but that, you know, mental approach is just as important as the physical and technical. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, there we go. Andrew Reeves, PB.
Yes.
Excellent. Well
Good
done.
man. Good man. That comes through pacing, but also a bit of fitness in the second half. You suddenly feel like I can keep the splits there. It hurts just as much, doesn't it? But the splits look better, which is a great feeling. Yeah. I find that particularly as it gets really hard, visualizing alongside somebody else helps. Thinking about your commitment to the rest of the crew helps as well.
And that feeling of support, that everybody's there with you, everybody's going through the same stuff, and you've got to be strong enough to stay with everyone else.
Thanks, Emma from Zurich, for joining as well. We had a Swiss in the party today. Zoom ergs will return after the summer break. We'll keep you posted. I think we're going to have about a month or so off, but I think the plan is to put up some of these sessions on catch-up I'm encouraging Zoomers to use a platform called YouTube, which I hear is quite good for video hosting that anybody can access. I trialed, I think I said I did one of Matt Brittin's sessions. I've never made, his sessions are normally like 7:30 in the morning. I've never felt quite ready for them then, but I did one on catch up on like a Friday evening. The last thing I wanted to do was, but it felt like I was on a Zoom. It was just me and the video and the community, and it was great. So do encourage you to try some of those. Hey, in Toronto. Thanks, Arax, as well for joining us. Fantastic. And Tony in Belgium. So even though we've got an elite, a smaller squad than usual, we've got probably a more international team. Love the community. And thanks, I mean, we get just as much fun and pleasure out of doing this as you do, I think. It's great to get your feedback and to have the energy and the reason to do this too. So thank you. Now, I don't think, unfortunately, normally we have Lucy Hart stretching after this session, but I don't think she's here today. Let me just check. Are you there, Lucy? No. So, but you have access to her sessions on YouTube. I think she's under Lucy Hart Physio or Glutes or something like that. So if you go to YouTube, or other video platforms are available, I should say, then you can find Lucy's sessions there. They're brilliant because they're designed for rowers, so really good for your glutes and hamstrings for post rowing stretching. Okay. Well, look, thank you, folks. I think we're done. I think we've all earned a large gin and tonic or a refreshment of your choice. If it's early in the morning where you are, then maybe hold off for a couple of minutes. It's in Europe, it's time for gin and tonic or beer. So thanks, folks. Thanks for joining us.